You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, you are going to be absolutely stunned by what we're going to be talking about here in this video. As everyone knows, President Trump has said that there will only be women in women's sports and men in men's sports. And if you actually have men and female sports, we're going to strip your funding as you are in violation of Title IX and an executive order. Now, of course, you got states out there, man, that want to do their own thing. They don't want to abide by the executive order put out there by President Trump. Now, we talked about Maine. I'm pretty sure California is doing the same thing. But the state of Washington, too, folks, they are defying President Trump. They're basically telling anybody that doesn't want a male and female sports to shut up. And by the way, we're actually going to target you and punish you. Yes, this is actually happening, folks, to a high school girl. Now, this is actually a high school basketball player. This female plays on a team, gets on the court, and then realizes, wait a minute, hold on. This other team has a boy, a male, on their team. Yes, and when I mean boy, folks, this is the shocking part right here, guys. This transgender on the other team, guess what? Has never had any surgeries, no hormone therapy, no puberty blockers or anything like that. Why? For one thing, believe it or not, this transgender doesn't believe in that stuff. And his father isn't down with that either. So this person is literally not even really trying to look like a female. And everybody caught wind of this, and this one girl's like, nah, I'm not going to play. But her woke school is now trying to attack her and punish her for harassment. Let's get into it. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, support us by becoming a channel member. Memberships just start at $5 per month. You guys can get access to the member live stream that we have every single Friday. We appreciate the support. So here we go. Right here, guys. Girls high school basketball player investigated by woke school district after refusing to play against transgender. Yeah, the girl gets on the court, realizes that there's actually a male on the opposing team. Is like, nah, I'm not going to play. But now her school is going to punish her. Wow. Look at this, guys. A 15-year-old girl's basketball player is being investigated for harassment and bullying after allegedly misgendering a male player on an opposing girls' team and refusing to play against a transgender athlete. Yeah. And by the way, the trans athlete is 18 years old. So we're entering like a full man body, folks. Full man body. Yeah. According to a complaint for the Foundation Against Intolerance and Racism against the Tumwater School District, Frances Stott of Tumwater High School noticed during warm-ups ahead of her team's game against Sheldon High School that the opposition had a biological male on its roster. Both the principal and athletic director of Tumwater confirmed that Sheldon I believe they actually meant is a biological male, had a biological male on the team. But with the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association allowing students to play on the team that aligns to their gender identity, there was nothing they could do. Wow. Come to find out, based on allegations by Stodd's family, Tumwater principal Zach Sutterman essentially stood up for the opposing team's male player instead of the concerned female player on his own school's team. Stott requested that the biological male be removed from the game or stop it entirely. But Tumwater officials refused to do so, either at the risk of discrimination against the male player. Stott then made a decision to not play in the game and was distraught by the threat she perceived to her teammates' safety having to play against a male. Instead of taking the side of a concerned Stott, a girl wanting to play girls' high school basketball against females, the Tumwater School District opened an investigation into her for harassing the biological male. According to the complaint, the Stott family alleged that Principal Sutterman approached Francis's mother and asked, quote, "Are you telling me that your daughter will never get knocked down or potentially injured by someone bigger, stronger, and faster than she is while playing sports?" The principal realized that the biological male on the other side was bigger, stronger, and faster, and took no issue with that fact based on the allegation. Wow. This is crazy right here, man. This is crazy. The family also claimed that an employee of the school intimidated Francis's brother for taking a video of the game saying, quote, "You better think twice about doing so." Wow. Now, they actually appeared on a podcast here, and they were actually talking about what happened during that game. So here we go. Let's listen to this.
It was my last game. I was very excited. Beforehand, I was setting goals for myself with my mom and my dad. And I was using that warm-up time to really be focused and everything. But I saw my mom having a conversation with my coach, and something seemed to be up. And she told me, she said, there is a man on their team. And I looked over, and sure enough, there was. And so I made the decision to sit out, and I did not play 1 minute of that game because I have a right to for my safety, and I should be allowed to play against girls.
And so I walked down to the varsity coach and I said, "Is that a boy on their team?" And he said, "I cannot make a statement on this. However, I'm in agreement with you." And he said, "You need to go talk to the athletic director." And so I went up to him and I said, "Can you tell me if that's a boy on the court down there?" And he said, "I am not going to say that. We do not discriminate." Wow. And I said, "Well, you're discriminating against my daughter by putting her out there potentially against a boy player." And he said, "Well, we follow WIAA and Washington state law." I said, "President Trump yesterday signed an executive order that went into federal law yesterday." He said, "We do not have to follow that. We follow Washington state."
Whoa.
Why, if they care so much about the men being able to play in female sports, do they not care about how the female feel about it, how the girls feel, and how it affects us and everything we've worked for?
Wow. Astonishing, man. Astonishing. Now, the male on the other team is named Andy Rooks, and he was on there with his father, and pretty much, guys, they were slamming the Democrats. Remember, this is the male player on the opposing team, pretty much going on the attack of Democrats wanting to transition kids medically, with hormone blockers and puberty blockers, all this other stuff. They're not down with this, even though I don't believe that this person should be playing on a girls' basketball team. I mean, this is a grown man now at this point, guys, 18 years old. Listening to this. This is Andy Rooks right here, the male basketball player. The only thing he's done is grow his hair longer. That's it. Watch this.
Have you had any medical or surgical interventions?
No, nothing. No hormones, nothing.
Nothing. It sounds like on his executive order to ban surgical interventions for minors, you're 100% in support of that.
You see, the transgender is even backing President Trump, blocking his stuff.
Process didn't come without its hard red lines for me. And one of those is the transition or the transgender, the hormones, the surgeries, all that stuff. I wouldn't do it.
You would not ever consent to that?
No.
Did you want any of that?
It was something that, another thing my mom had mentioned to us, and me and my dad did go to a doctor's office, and we did have a conversation with that, and my dad told me that he wasn't going to let me, which was fine. I really wasn't upset about it because I understood where he was coming from, because those surgeries and those hormones and stuff, they alter your life forever. Yeah. And even today, as I am an adult, is something that even I question if I'll ever do, because I don't feel the need for it. Does that make sense?
Well, this is really, and this is important. You mentioned you just turned 18. So you are a senior in high school. We'll talk more about that. And I think that's the only reason I'd ask you some of the questions I'm about to ask you. If you were a minor, I probably would not. But you're saying that you know and believe that the hormone therapy alters someone forever. In this state, and I hate to say this, Dad, I'm sure that Andy already knows, you could get hormone therapy without your father's consent. You could have been doing that for 5 years.
Well, and I know that, and my friends have mentioned it to me. They're like, you do know you can do this, and I'm like, but I don't feel a need to. I don't feel. No child should, one, feel the need to go behind their parents' back. Two, it's not right. I think it's an adult's decision. It's a very big and major decision.
So, I mean, this is a debate we're in right now in Washington State and at the national level. So you don't believe that someone 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 should be able to get gender hormone therapy without their parents saying, yes, go get it?
No, and I even think like any form of medical consent at 13 is just so like, why are you getting anything? Whether just like aside from anything gender changing, why are you doing anything behind your parents' back at 13? You shouldn't feel the need to, and it just doesn't feel right to me.
Did you hear that, Senator Jamie Peterson? I'm going to be sending this interview to your office because it's a unique perspective, and you can't come back and say, well, that's a hateful position because, I mean, you're living it. If
they are so big on wanting kids to have that option, maybe 17, but even I wouldn't have done it. I would never have done it as a kid in any time. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, God no.
One of the things that I always strive to have with Andy was a very open relationship on this stuff. You know, it wasn't just a matter of, no, you're not getting it and that's it. It was an explanation of these are life-changing decisions that, you know, these things can cause cancer, they can make you infertile. These are adult, lifelong decisions that I will not make for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was fortunate enough to have a child that was mature enough to understand these things and respect me as their parent.
Wow. That is a pretty shocking twist right there. That is a pretty shocking twist right there, that the transgender goes on the attack and is not down with transitioning kids. That's pretty shocking. However, you should not be playing female sports. You shouldn't be doing that, man. I mean, this other girl on the other team, man, is being targeted now. I mean, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. The opposing school, the other school, is showing support for the trans athlete and not for the well-being of the females from their own school. Amazing, right? Amazing. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.